I walked into the house and immediately knew something was wrong. Not in a vague, gut-feeling kind of way, no, this was different. The air was stale, like no one had been home in hours, yet the faintest trace of perfume still lingered. The kind she only wore on special occasions. The kind she had not put on for me in months. The kitchen light was on. That was the first thing that set me off. Jessica was borderline militant about turning lights off when she left a room. She'd lecture me about the electricity bill if I so much as left the bathroom light on for an extra minute. And yet here it was burning bright in an empty house. Then I saw it. A hotel keycard sitting right there on the kitchen counter like a loaded gun. For a second, my brain refused to process it. It was so out of place, so undeniably wrong that I just stood there, staring at it like it might disappear if I blinked. I picked it up. Cold, smooth plastic. The logo stamped on it was from a hotel downtown. Not some roadside motel, no, this was one of those upscale places. The kind where businessmen stayed for conferences. The kind with dimly lit bars and overpriced cocktails. My pulse pounded in my ears. There had to be an explanation. Maybe she found it. Maybe it belonged to a friend. Maybe then I flipped it over. Room 1024. Handwritten. Fresh ink. A time scrawled next to it. 3 p.m. I checked my watch. 4:47 p.m. Something primal and ugly twisted in my gut. This was not a mistake. This was not innocent. This was deliberate. I felt like a fool. A blind, trusting idiot. All those late nights, the extra effort at the gym, the whispered phone calls when she thought I was asleep, it had all been leading up to this. And I had been too stupid to see it. I could have waited. I could have sat down, taken a breath and thought about my next move like a rational person. But rationality was gone. It had been burned away the second I saw the key card. I grabbed my keys and walked out the door. The drive to the hotel was a blur. I do not even remember the traffic lights, the turns, the people crossing the streets. All I saw was that damn room number burn into my mind like a brand. 1024. My hands were not shaking. My breath was not ragged. If anything, I felt eerily calm. Like my body had already decided what needed to be done. And my mind was just catching up. I pulled into the hotel parking lot. My tires screeching slightly against the pavement. It was one of those sleek, glass-covered buildings, the kind that looked too polished for anything as ugly as this to be happening inside. I stepped out, slammed the car door, and walked in like I belonged there. The lobby was quiet, with a few scattered guests and a receptionist typing something on her computer. I moved past them without hesitation, heading straight for the elevators. The numbers blinked as I ascended. 6, 7, 8. My reflection stared back at me in the elevator's polished steel walls. Face blank, unreadable. I barely recognized myself. 10. Doors slid open with a soft chime. The hallway stretched out in front of me, lined with identical doors. The air was thick with that artificial hotel scent. Too clean, too perfect, trying too hard to cover up the things that happened behind closed doors. I walked. My footsteps muffled by the carpet. I stopped, stared at the door. A do not disturb sign hung from the handle, slightly tilted, like a final mocking touch. I did not hesitate. I knocked, firm and deliberate. Silence. Then movement. A shuffling sound. A brief pause. And then finally the door cracked open. Jessica stood there, wrapped in a hotel robe, her hair slightly damp, her eyes widening when she saw me. And behind her, in the dimly lit room, I saw him. Some guy, mid-30s. Shirtless. His hand frozen mid-motion as he reached for something on the nightstand. His face was a mix of shock and guilt. Jessica's lips parted. But no words came out. I did not give her time to come up with a lie. Who the hell is he? I asked, my voice disturbingly even. Jessica blinked, then God help me, she laughed. A short, breathy, almost nervous sound like this was all some ridiculous misunderstanding. Oh my God, Ethan, what are you doing here? She said, her voice too high, too forced. What am I doing here? I repeated, stepping forward. She instinctively moved to block the doorway, but I did not need to enter. I had already seen enough. The guy, whoever he was, rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly like this was just some inconvenient run-in at a coffee shop. Hey man. I ignored him. Jessica, my voice was dangerously quiet. Say it. Say what this is. She exhaled through her nose, rolling her eyes like I was the one causing a problem. It's not what it looks like. I barked out a laugh. That's the best you've got? She crossed her arms. It's complicated. I let out a slow breath, forcing myself to keep my hands at my sides when all I wanted to do was break something. Then simplify it for me. Jessica sighed, tilting her head like I was some stubborn child she had to explain things to. Look, Ethan, I did not want you to find out like this. Find what out? She hesitated just for a second. Then I belong to no one. She said, the words hung between us, heavy and final. I stared at her, waiting for something, regret, guilt, anything. But she just stood there. Chin lifted slightly like she was daring me to react. So I did. I stepped back, nodded once, and turned around. For the first time since I found that keycard, I smiled. Good. I said, then I'll let you go. And I walked away. That I did not stop walking until I was outside the hotel. The cold air hit me like a slap, but I barely felt it. My mind was still replaying those words over and over again. I belong to no one. She said it like it was some kind of revelation, like she was standing on a mountaintop, arms wide, declaring her freedom to the world. But freedom from what? From me? From our life? From the years I spent loving her, trusting her, believing in her? The rage was there, simmering under my skin, but it was not the kind that made you punch walls or scream in parking lots. No, this was something colder. A quiet, creeping kind of fury that settled into my bones and made me see everything with perfect crystal clarity. Jessica was gone. Not physically, no, she was still upstairs, probably trying to come up with a version of the story that made her the victim, but in every way that mattered, she was gone. And now I had to decide what came next. I got in my car and just sat there for a moment, hands gripping the wheel, heartbeat steady. Then, without really thinking about it, I pulled out my phone and called the one person who would give it to me straight. Ryan picked up on the second ring. What's up, man? His voice was relaxed, distracted. He was probably at home, half watching a game, beer in hand. Normal. The kind of normal I'd just been ripped out of. I need a drink, I said. Now there was a pause. Then that bad? Worse, he did not ask any more questions. Meet me at Murphy S in 15. Murphy S was a dive bar. Dimly lit walls covered in neon beer signs and framed jerseys. The kind of place where no one cared who you were or what your problems were, as long as you had cash and did not start a fight. Ryan was already at the bar when I walked in, 2 beers in front of him. He took one look at me and whistled. Jesus, you look like someone just ran over your dog. Close, I muttered, grabbing the beer and taking a long pull. He waited, giving me space. That's the thing about Ryan. He never pushed, never pried. He let people come to him when they were ready. I set the bottle down and exhaled. Jessica, that was all I had to say. His face went dark. What did she do? I leaned forward, elbows on the bar, and told him everything. The keycard, the hotel, the guy, the look on her face when she saw me. And finally the words that were still echoing in my head. I belong to no one. By the time I finished, Ryan looked like he wanted to put his fist through the nearest wall. Unbelievable, he muttered, after everything, after all the shit you've done for her. I let out a bitter laugh. Guess none of it mattered. Ryan shook his head. Nah, screw that. She does not matter. You redone, right? Please tell me you redone. I took another sip of my beer, the bubbles burning slightly in my throat. I told her I'd let her go. He snorted. Good. Hope she enjoys her freedom. That's when it hit me. Jessica thought she won. She thought she'd just cut the cord and floated off, free of consequences. She had no idea what happened when freedom started to feel like a mistake. I smiled to myself. Let us see how long it takes her to figure it out that I woke up the next morning feeling strangely light. Not happy, not relieved, but like something heavy had been cut loose inside me. Like my brain had finally processed what happened and decided, okay, this is real. This is happening. Jessica was gone. Not physically, her stuff was still at the house. Her name was still on the bills, but in every way that mattered she had already checked out. I knew it. She knew it. Now it was just a matter of making it official. I got out of bed, grabbed my phone and scrolled through my messages. Nothing from Jessica. Not even a half-assed excuse or a pathetic attempt at damage control. Nothing. That told me everything I needed to know. Fine. If she wanted silence, I'd give it to her. I got dressed, grabbed coffee and started making calls. First, a lawyer. I was not wasting another second on a marriage that had already rotted from the inside out. Then the bank. Then our landlord. The machine of my life started moving and I made damn sure Jessica would not have a place in it for much longer. It was not until late afternoon that my phone finally buzzed. Jessica, I let it ring. Watched the screen until it went dark. Then she called again. And again. On the fourth call I answered. But I did not speak. I just let the silence stretch. She was the first to break. Ethan. The voice was cautious, like she was not sure which version of me she was about to get. I still did not speak. She sighed. Are we really doing this? I leaned back in my chair. Doing what? This. The whole ignoring each other thing. The dramatic silence. Can we just talk like adults? I almost laughed. Talk like adults? After everything? You had your chance to talk, Jessica. Back at the hotel. Remember that. That was not. She stopped herself, probably realizing there was no version of that night that made her look good. I just think we should meet up. Have an actual conversation. Face to face. No, a pause. Then Ethan, come on. No, I repeated firmer this time. We do not need to meet up. We do not need to talk. I already have everything I need. She exhaled sharply, her patience slipping. So that's it? You're just cutting me off completely. I smiled even though she could not see it. You said it yourself, Jess. You belong to no one. So I'm just giving you what you wanted. Silence. Then the shift. I could hear the switch flip in her head, could practically feel the way she straightened up, changed tactics. Jessica was good at this, twisting things, making herself the victim, rewriting history before the ink was even dry. Her voice softened. Ethan, I did not mean it like that. Sure you did. No, she sighed again, playing the role of the exhausted, misunderstood woman. I was angry. I felt trapped. You have no idea what it's been like for me. That did it. The last thread of patience I had snapped clean in two. I sat forward, gripping the phone tighter. What it's been like for you? She hesitated. I just mean Jessica. I said, cutting her off. I worked my ass off to give you a good life. I supported you through everything. I trusted you, and you are the one who went behind my back. You are the one who lied. You are the one who threw it all away. I took a breath, forcing my voice to stay level. So no, I do not give a damn what it's been like for you. Silence. Then the final play, the last card she had left. Do you still love me? She asked, voice barely above a whisper. I did not even have to think about it. No. And this time I was the one who hung up. That I expected that to be the end of it. I thought Jessica would take the hint, lick her wounds and move on to whatever life she thought would be so much better without me. I underestimated her. The first sign was the texts. At first they were sporadic. A simple "can we talk? This does not have to be so hostile." The next. Then the shift. You really just going to throw away everything we built? I made a mistake, Ethan. One mistake. I miss you. Do not you miss me? I ignored every single one. Then the messages stopped. For a week I heard nothing. No calls, no texts. Just silence. I should have known better than to think she'd give up so easily. I was halfway through a late-night workout when the knock came at my door. 3 short raps. Hesitant. Almost careful. I pulled out my earbuds, wiping sweat from my face as I approached the door. Checked my phone. No missed calls, no texts. My gut told me exactly who it was before I even looked through the peephole. Jessica. I considered ignoring it. Let her stand out there in the cold, wondering if I was home, wondering if I was even listening. But something in me wanted to see. Wanted to look her in the face, and let her see up close what she had lost. I opened the door. She stood there wrapped in a coat too thin for the weather, arms crossed over her chest. Her eyes swept over me, taking in the gym shorts, the damp t-shirt, the fact that I had not bothered to clean up before answering. Hey, she said, offering a small, almost nervous smile. I did not say anything. Just leaned against the door frame, arms crossed, waiting. Her smile faltered. Can I come in? No, a flicker of irritation crossed her face before she smoothed it over. Ethan, please. I let the silence stretch between us. Let her sit in the discomfort of it. She shifted her weight, glancing away. I do not want things to end like this. I huffed out a laugh. Like what? Like we re enemies. I gave her a long, slow look. Jessica, you re not my enemy. I let that sink in before I added, you re nothing to me. That landed. I saw it in the way she flinched, the way her lips pressed together. She tried to recover quickly, shaking her head. I do not believe that. I shrugged. Believe what you want. She took a step closer, lowering her voice like she thought it might make a difference. Ethan. I messed up. I know I did. But we've been through so much together. Does not that count for something? I tilted my head, pretending to consider it. You know it might have. If you'd come to me before sneaking around with some other guy. If you'd been honest instead of lying to my face. If you'd shown even an ounce of remorse back at that hotel instead of laughing like this was awesome joke. I let my voice drop just a little. But you did not. She swallowed, her throat bobbing. I was scared. Scared of what? Her eyes searched mine. Scared of losing myself. Scared of feeling trapped. I nodded slowly. And how is that freedom working out for you? Her breath hitched just slightly. Ethan, go home, Jessica. She did not move. I pushed off the door frame, standing up straight. I mean it. You wanted out? You got it. Now go. Her eyes darkened. And just like that the mask slipped. The fake remorse, the gentle pleading, it all vanished in an instant. Her lips curled into something sharp. You think you're so much better than me, do not you? I smiled. A slow, deliberate thing. No, I said. I just know I'm better off without you. She glared at me for a moment longer. Chest rising and falling like she wanted to say something. Wanted to win somehow. But there was nothing left to win. Finally, she turned on her heel and walked away. I shut the door before she made it to the sidewalk. I thought that was the last of it. Thought I had shut the door on Jessica for good. Both literally and figuratively. I was wrong. Started small. Random sightings. One morning, I stepped out of my house to head to work. And there she was, parked across the street in her car. Sunglasses on, pretending to scroll through her phone like she just happened to be there. I did not acknowledge her. Just got in my truck and drove away. Then a few days later, Ryan and I were grabbing drinks at Murphy's when he suddenly tensed. His eyes flicking over my shoulder. I turned around. He muttered. I turned around. Jessica sitting at the bar. Alone. Stirring a cocktail with her straw but not drinking it. She was not even looking at me, not directly, but I knew she was aware of my presence. Ryan sighed. She's playing games, man? I know. I should have confronted her right then and there. But something in me wanted to wait. Wanted to see just how far she'd take it. It did not take long to find out. The breaking point came a week later. I got home late from work, exhausted, barely thinking as I unlocked my front door and stepped inside. And then I froze. Because I was not alone. The smell hit me first, something floral, familiar. Jessica's perfume. Then the soft click of a glass being set down on my kitchen counter. I turned the corner, and there she was. Sitting on my couch in my house, sipping a glass of whiskey like she had every right to be there. I stared at her. How the hell did you get in? She lifted one shoulder in a lazy shrug. Still had a key. I clenched my jaw. Not anymore. I stepped forward holding out my hand. Give it to me. Now. She swirled her drink, watching the liquid slosh against the sides. You really do not miss me at all, do you? I exhaled sharply, pinching the bridge of my nose. Jessica, I'm not doing this. Hand over the key and get out. She finally looked at me, and for the first time in weeks I saw it. The crack, the exhaustion, the regret, the realization that maybe, just maybe, she had made a mistake. I thought. She swallowed, her fingers tightening around the glass. I thought I wanted something different, something exciting. I did not say anything. She huffed out a small, humorless laugh. But it turns out the excitement does not last. And then you just feel empty. I leaned against the counter, arms crossed. Sounds rough. I flinched just slightly. Ethan, I do not. My voice was quiet. Firm. Do not say you're sorry. Do not tell me you made a mistake. Do not stand in my house and expect me to fix the mess you made. She stared at me, her lower lip trembling just slightly. Then, in a voice so small, I almost did not hear it. I do not know who I am without you. I pushed off the counter and walked toward her. Slowly. Deliberately. Until I was standing right in front of her. She was sitting down as she tilted her head up. And then, just as softly, "That's not my problem." Her breath hitched. I reached down, plucked the key from the table, and stepped back. You do not belong to me, remember? So go find yourself somewhere else. For a moment, I thought she might cry. But Jessica never cried. Not unless it was for show. Instead, she stood up, squared her shoulders, and gave me one last look. Then she left. And this time, I locked the door behind her. I thought that was it. Thought that locking the door on Jessica that night was the final chapter. Again, I underestimated her. Because Jessica did not just leave. She made sure to burn the bridge behind her. It started with the text from mutual friends. Hey man, just heard what happened. Are you okay? Jessica's been saying some crazy stuff about you. Figured I'd check in before believing any of it. Dude. You really throw all her stuff out onto the street? That last one made me pause. Because I had not. I had packed up her things neatly, left them in the spare room, and even texted her to pick them up. She never responded. So what the hell was she telling people? Ryan called me that afternoon, his voice tense. You're not going to like this. Go on. She's running her mouth, telling people you were controlling, that you never let her do anything. That you kept tabs on her. Tracked her phone. All kinds of shit. I almost laughed. The audacity. That's rich coming from the woman who literally broke into my house last night. Yeah, well, she's in full damage control mode. Ryan said, trying to make sure she's the victim in all this. I leaned back in my chair, rubbing a hand over my jaw. Let her talk. Ryan hesitated. You sure? Some people are eating it up. I exhaled slowly. I do not care. The people who actually know me would not believe her. And the rest? Does not matter. That was the truth. I was not about to waste my energy chasing down every rumor defending myself against her version of the story. Jessica wanted control? Let her have it. Let her tell whatever story helped her sleep at night. But deep down I knew her. And I knew she was not sleeping well. 3 days later, she showed up again. This time, it was not at my house. It was not at Murphy's or anywhere I might have expected. It was at my job. I had just finished up a meeting when I stepped out into the lobby and saw her sitting on the waiting area couch, legs crossed, scrolling through her phone like she had every right to be there. My jaw tightened. I stalked toward her, keeping my voice low. "What the hell are you doing here?" She looked up, all wide eyes and feigned innocence. I wanted to talk. I clenched my fists. "This is not the place." "Well, you would not answer my calls," she said, standing up and smoothing out her skirt. So I had to get creative. I exhaled sharply, glancing around. Things were already on us, coworkers passing by, the receptionist pretending not to listen. "Fine," I muttered. "Outside. Now." She followed me out into the parking lot, the click of her heels sharp against the pavement. The moment we were alone, I turned on her. "Are you out of your damn mind?" She crossed her arms. "I just want to talk." "No. You want attention." I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "And showing up at my job? That's low. Even for you." Her nostrils flared, but she kept her composure. "You remaking me out to be some kind of monster, Ethan." I barked out a laugh. "Jessica, I do not have to make you out to be anything. You did that all by yourself." She swallowed. I was flicking away for a split second before locking back onto mine. Her voice softened. "I do not know how to fix this." I stared at her. Really stared. And for the first time, I did not feel anger or betrayal or even pity. I felt nothing. "Jessica," I said, my voice calm. "There's no this to fix." Her breath hitched just slightly. "You do not mean that." I smiled. "I do." She searched my face, looking for something, anything to latch onto. But there was nothing left for her here. Finally she took a step back, forcing a tight smile. "You'll regret this." "No," I said simply. "I would not." She hesitated for a second longer, then turned and walked away. And this time I knew without a doubt she was not coming back. Jessica was finally gone. For real this time. No more texts. No more phone calls. No more surprise visits. No more silence. And for the first time in months, my life felt mine again. I fell into a routine. Work. Gym. Drinks with Ryan. Even picked up an old hobby, woodworking, something I had not touched since before Jessica started making me feel guilty for spending time on anything that did not revolve around her. At first, I thought about her more than I wanted to admit. Not in a miss her kind of way. More like an old injury. Something that had healed wrong. Leaving an ache that flared up when the weather changed. But as the days passed, the ache dulled. The memories lost their weight. And one morning, I woke up and realized I had not thought about Jessica at all the day before. That was the moment I knew I was free. Or so I thought. 2 weeks after Jessica's last dramatic exit, I ran into someone unexpected. I was grabbing coffee before work when a voice called out behind me. "Ethan." I turned coffee cup halfway to my lips. And there, standing in line, was him. The guy from the hotel. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But no, it was definitely him. The same guy I had found half naked in a dimly lit hotel room with my wife. Well, ex-wife soon enough. For a moment, we just stared at each other. He looked just as surprised as I felt. Then, to my absolute disbelief, he had the audacity to smile. "Man, small world," he said, stepping forward like we were old friends running into each other at a barbecue. I did not smile back. "What the hell do you want?" He put his hands up like I was being unreasonable. "Hey, no hard feelings, right?" I exhaled slowly, gripping my coffee cup a little tighter. "Hard feelings," I repeated. "You screwed my wife." His mouth opened, then closed. Then another goddamn smile. "I mean, technically, do not." I cut him off, voice low and steady. "Do not finish that sentence unless you want to wear this coffee." His grin faltered. I shook my head, turning to leave. I was not going to waste my time on this idiot. But then she lied to me too, you know. I stopped slowly. I turned back. "What did you just say?" The guy, Matt, I think his name was, shifted uncomfortably. Look, man. I did not know she was married. Not at first. She told me you were some controlling ex that you would not let her go. I stared at him and you believed her. He had the nerve to look embarrassed. I did until she started pulling the same crap on me. A slow, cold realization crept over me. What do you mean? I thought she wanted something real. Turns out she just wanted a thrill. And when the thrill wore off, he shrugged. She moved on. Just like that. I took a deep breath, letting that sink in. Jessica had left him too. Somehow I was not surprised. Matt exhaled sharply. So yeah? No hard feelings? I looked at him for a long moment. Then finally I smirked. No hard feelings, I said. But I told you, she belongs to no one. I thought she wanted something real. She belongs to no one. And with that, I walked out, leaving him standing there, holding the same regret I had carried for too damn long. I walked out of that coffee shop feeling lighter than I had in months. Jessica was someone else's problem now. Except she was not. Because she had burned through him just as fast as she had burned through me. And for the first time, I realized she had not just cheated because of me. It was not about our marriage or feeling trapped or any of the excuses she had thrown at me. Jessica was the kind of person who was never satisfied. Not with me. Not with him. Not with anyone. And now she was alone. A week later, I got one last message from her. A single text. No preamble. No explanation. I think I made a mistake. I stared at it for a long moment. Let the words settle in. Let them remind me of exactly who she was. Then I deleted it. No response. No anger. No parting words. Just nothing. The same nothing she had left me within that hotel hallway. And it felt damn good. Months passed. The divorce went through without much of a fight. Turns out Jessica was not interested in a drawn-out legal battle, probably because it would have meant admitting in an actual courtroom that she was the one who wrecked everything. I moved into a new place. Bought new furniture. Got rid of anything that reminded me of her. One night, Ryan and I were having drinks at Murphy's when he clinked his bottle against mine. To freedom. I smirked. To freedom. But the thing is, freedom was not the best part. The best part was knowing that, for the first time in a long time, I belonged to no one. And unlike Jessica, I would not be making the mistake of regretting it.